Hey guys, this is Reece here with Trusted Companies, Real Estate Services and Inspections. We are here at a fun project that we're going to be overviewing on the channel for the next couple months now. It's a fully permitted duplex down to the studs renovation. Today we're going to take an overview of where we're at in the project. We've been working on it for about 2 weeks, waiting for the tenants to move out of one side while we demoed the other. So right now we've got one unit cleaned out. All the tenant property, for the most part, gone. So you missed some of the best part. I'll try and put some overview photos of what this looked like when we got started. It was really in rough shape. The tenants had been living there for about 20 years, and the previous owner just really didn't take care of the place. The other side is down to the studs, pretty much cleaned out. There's a little bit more work to do, like grinding nails off studs, things like that. But essentially, it's ready for mechanicals. So we're gonna go walk through the property right now and kind of overview it for what the investment looks like, what the scope of work looks like on a project like this, how long it takes, at least for me to do it, and what you guys can expect if you do a project like this yourself. So let's get going. Alrighty. So let's start on the right-hand side. This is the side that's been we've been working on for a couple weeks now. The other side's got a heater going. It's pretty cold here now. So we're gonna see what we got going on here. So this is kind of our storage right now, but we took this place from plaster, pretty poor condition. I'll overlay some photos if I can here. Down to the studs essentially. So what that means is we've got a lot of work ahead of us. Because we took it down to the studs, there's a lot of things we need to do for permits that we wouldn't have had to do if we left the plaster up. Essentially bringing it up to code everywhere. That means new firewalls. We have to do a firewall on this side because it's within 5 feet of a property line. And then we also have to do a firewall on this side because it divides the two units, right? We've already done some new framing. We're putting a half bathroom downstairs. And then we did some structural repairs. This is the full bathroom upstairs. It was sinking in. Some of the studs, or the floor joists, were cut through for plumbing. And so that needed to be sistered. Coming in here, let me open up the door so we get a little bit more light here. There's no power, or sorry, there's power, but there's no lights, so just gonna do the best we can for now on the video quality. This is the kitchen. We're going to add, we haven't framed it up yet, we're gonna add a laundry room here, and then the refrigerator will go right here. We haven't done that because the firewall needs to be built out, and you can't have any ductwork on a firewall, so we have to remove that. And then do our firewall before we can do that framing. We had quite a bit of structural repair here. You can't see it now. I'll highlight more on the other side, but right here, all the floor joists were rotted out. The exterior sheathing was rotted out, so we had to replace all that. And then we did new subfloor, 3/4 inch, and then we also laid a 1/4 inch OSB over the whole first floor, just because we're going to be doing vinyl plank flooring down here, and it needed to be smoother. It was in pretty rough shape. Eventually we will be doing a fence back here, but for now we're leaving it open so we can fit dumpsters back here. We've got a 40-yard coming right now. As you can clearly see, there's quite a large mess we're dealing with right now. On the exterior, we're replacing majority of the windows. We did some gutter repairs already, but there's more to come. Rebuilt the deck here. We're gonna do the same on the other side. We did a little bit of brickwork along the front, but not a ton outside. It came with a new roof, came with new siding. So we're just doing the hard stuff now. So that's pretty much where we're at on this side. I'll take you guys upstairs real quick. It's pretty much the same though. We've got it down to the studs. We got one bathroom upstairs. We added the half down here. Oops, excuse me. Got a little bit more cleanup to do on this side, but nothing too crazy. And it gives us a really clean slate to kind of reframe, change layout, really quite a bit easier and cheaper to do your electrical, your plumbing, and your mechanicals. And doing this, honestly, is easier quite often than doing a cosmetic rehab if you want to do it right, because most cosmetic rehabs on these older 100-year-old buildings, they're not being done well. You know, they're leaving the knob and tube in the walls. You can't really do much about that unless you want to spend a lot of money. They're leaving the old galvanized plumbing in the walls. And this is going to be a long-term hold for us. We want to do it right so that, one, there's less maintenance issues. As we manage in-house as well, so less maintenance issues, and also a better product for the future tenants where they are happy living here and want to stay for many years. We don't want tenants that are coming in and out every 1 or 2 years. Ideally, somebody moves in here and they stay for 5, 6, 7 years. So that's the kind of stuff we're looking at as we renovate these places, is how do we make that bathroom a little bit bigger if possible? How do we make these closets, let's see if I can show you guys, these closets a little bit bigger. This is framed out to be 24 inches deep now. They were initially like 12 inches deep. You know, I don't know what they were putting in there 100 years when this place was built, but that's not gonna hold any you know, hangers or shelving for a normal sized closet, right? So we reframe all the closets. Right now we're trying to brainstorm what to do with the bathroom, because it's really not made to fit a standard size tub. So on this side you can see this is where you'd normally put a tub along the back wall here. We're going to remove this window, otherwise we'd need to replace it with tempered glass, and I just don't like windows of any kind in a shower. It eventually leads to issues. But we need our head height here for the stairwell below. So we can't just remove this and put it down to the floor, because then we don't have enough head height coming up here. So what we're gonna do here is put in a smaller tub, maybe a 48-inch tub. Sorry, getting used to this gimbal. 48-inch tub, and then have a bench here, like a tiled bench where people could sit down, right? So it gives the ability to take a bath, which a lot of people like, or to, you know, if you have young children for families, they like to have a bath for bath time, obviously. But it also is big enough for a standard shower. You don't feel claustrophobic in there. So that's where we're at on this side. Now, we didn't start here. It was quite a mess. And I'll show you throughout this video sporadically, throw some pictures and videos, overlays, but it was a real mess. And this took about 2 weeks to frame and demo, which is quite a long time. We also kind of just dragged our feet because we were waiting on the tenants on the other side. But now I'm going to show you, a lot of, it's cold here. Now I'm going to show you essentially where we're starting on the other side. Now the other side was filled to the brim with tenant property. Over the weekend I had some guys clean it out. For the most part, they're still working. So it is looking a little bit better than it was. Just imagine, as I show you guys, it was much worse. Let's go. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into the other side now. This side just vacated over the weekend. So now we're working on cleaning it out. We're gonna start demo later today. So I'll highlight that process a little bit, maybe not in this video, upcoming videos, of what the process of renovating this place looks like, and general pricing for, we are in Columbus, the Columbus area, to help you kind of figure out what you would be spending on your own project. So let's hop into it. I'm gonna turn off the heater just so you can hear me, and we'll go from there. All right, now that we can hear. So on this side, you can see plaster walls, pretty typical for a 100-year-old home. It's important to keep in mind, people were living here. This is kind of the condition the last owner let the place get to. And obviously, you know, the tenants were here 20 years, so there's not much you can do. But we had to ask them to move out just because safety, honestly, and you know, it needs to be improved. So this is kind of the starting point. There was a little bit more tenant property, but for the most part, this is what we're starting with. So throughout the week, we're gonna take this down to the studs, remove all the drop ceiling, remove the trim. We'll leave the windows in for now until we can have the window contractor come in and replace them. Some structural repairs in the kitchen are gonna have to happen, same as the other side. The floor kind of sags in here. So we'll dig into that once we're done with demo, see what kind of structural work is required. Okay. Down to the basement, they're cleaning out some tenant belongings. This side's gonna be the same as the other side. It's gonna be a 3-bed, 1.5 bathroom. So once we get done with demo, we're gonna start with framing, structural repairs, make the closets bigger like we did the other side. Kind of get a little bit more user-friendly on the layout. These old homes, they had small bathrooms, very small closets. And it's nice to do a full rehab like this where you have the budget and the ability to really turn the place into its best use, best layout for today's standards. This bathroom, I'm not quite sure how it was being used before, but the floor is sinking in around this cast iron tub. So we're gonna have to break that out of here, probably do new subfloor, new joists underneath. I always like to add a couple extra joists when we do these projects underneath the tub, just because I don't want to deal with it in the future. You know, you've got a lot of weight there under the tub. You got to make sure that you've got the strength to hold, you know, 250-pound person in a tub with another 100 pounds of water, you know, things like that. So we just like to build these places so that we're not going to have maintenance issues in the future, or at least our risk of maintenance is much lower, and our frequency of maintenance, I should say. So this is the living conditions that the last owner left. And so, you know, we're gonna come in here, we're gonna try and make it a nice place for a family to live. You know, for many years and comfortable, so that way for us, it'll result in a good long-term asset, and for the tenants, it'll result in a great place to live. So that's where this project is at right now, working through demo today. This video will be a part of a series overviewing, not necessarily a how-to series, but essentially showcasing the project. We're going to dig into the financials, the investment strategy behind this deal. Now, part of the investment strategy is I own multiple buildings on this street, and so even if it doesn't necessarily make sense financially, which it does, but if it didn't, it may have still been worth pursuing because it increases the value of all the properties around. This was a really bad house, probably the worst on the street, and so by improving this one, we're going to make my other investments look great, right? Or look better. So we're gonna kind of dig into that. I'm not sure if that'll be this video. When I edit this, we'll see what the time is. Maybe I'll throw that at the end. But potentially the next video will be a financial overview, why we're doing this project, the numbers on it. Is it gonna be a good deal or a bad deal? As long as we stay on budget, that's another key factor, right? We'll dig into how I established the budget, how we financed it, and then we'll showcase the construction. You know, I'm not here all day long, so I'm not gonna film these guys like construction channels would. but I'll showcase where we're at, what we're doing, why we're doing it, and hopefully go throughout this whole duplex and see it start to finish. We did just buy, I just bought a duplex right down the street as well. So we'll probably jump into that one as well. That one's a little bit less work. It's gonna be more of a cosmetic, not down to the studs. So it's gonna be a different animal. This one's easier in some aspects because it's down to the studs, it's a clean slate. The other one is easier in aspects because it's just a smaller project, it's cheaper, right? So we'll dig in from there. So thanks so much guys for checking in, really appreciate it. Leave me some comments. If you have questions, I'll try to answer them, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks.